Hello my treasure, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm gonna do something different because I'm gonna take you along with me on my journey of a 2 days convention, because I just returned from a convention. Yes, my fake tattoo is smearing all over, and I am dressed up as a character from Blue Lock, which is called Kaiser. And again, I do inspired cosplaying and not, 100% accurate cosplaying, because, I identify as a female and Kaiser identifies as a male, so I can never, completely accurately cosplay this character. So just so you know. But yeah, I didn't even have time to get undressed because, you know what? I thought I want to tell you about the convention I went to today, because, boy, I have a lot to tell about this convention. So some of you might know, but I am a experienced convention goer. So I have been to a multiple gaming, anime, all kinds of conventions. I even went to a makeup convention and those kind of things. So I have my fair share of conventions under my belt. And actually, I already started at the very early age of 16 when I went to my first anime convention. So yeah, I can say with great pride and being, 40 years old, that I am a experienced convention goer. So after a while, of course, I also became a mom. So after that, I did not stop my lifestyle. I took my kids along with me. Of course, I took the precautions needed, but of course, I also have a mom in a wheelchair. So I know where I need to make sure that I make some adjustments in how I go to conventions. So yeah, today I went to TomoFair, which was held in the Expo Hall in Houten, which is just below the big city of Utrecht, which is also not far away of where I went a couple of weeks ago, which was Dutch Comic Con, which was much larger. And don't get me even started on Dutch Comic Con, because that is also, a story which I might tell someday, but I don't want to tell that story now. So yeah, we went to this one-day convention. It opened at 10 a.m. and it would close at 5 p.m. So just so you know, spoiler ahead, I left earlier, okay? So I don't know if it closes at 5 p.m. because we left earlier, and there are multiple reasons for that. But yeah, let's go way back to the beginning of this morning. So first up, we of course all were going to be cosplaying certain characters. So we had to get up bright and early, because also the drive towards the convention center was about 40 minutes. So we got up bright and early and went into our car and went off to the convention center. So the convention center, like I said, was in Houten, which I have actually already been to this fair last year, and that was a complete disaster, okay? It was oversold, it was hot as hell, there was no air conditioning, the toilets were horrible, just, I don't even want to talk about it. But, I'm eating hair. But the organization for TomoFair promised that this year they would have double the size, because they didn't rent out the complete convention center. So they only rented out a very small part last year. And they promised for this year that they would double the size, and that there would be enough food and a big dealer's room and gaming area and everything available. Yeah, well, it was bigger. Let's keep it at that. But there were some technical difficulties. So they did give a lot of information on their social media pages. So they did say, be on time. It will be busy, starting 12 up until 3:30. So yeah, be sure to be there early, or be there, almost at the end, which, what's the point of going at the end? But okay, never mind that. So we got there bright and early. We actually arrived at 10:15 a.m. And just for reference, normally conventions, when they start at 10 a.m., most of the times I get there with my kids and my mom, who is in a wheelchair. I get there around 11 p.m., right? Because we always aim for 10 p.m., but then life happens. And then traffic jam happens, and then we forget stuff, and then we have to drive back again, and then we get annoyed with each other, and you know, it's like going on a holiday, you know, it's you know that feeling, okay? But this time everything went perfect. It was almost scary. I was scared, okay? Because I knew, you know, everything went perfect. We were there only 15 minutes after the convention center opened. So we could actually also park at the closest parking area. Parking was, by the way, free, which is very nice, of course, because when I went to Dutch Comic Con, which was, like I said, 10 minutes away from there, that was 30 euros for a day. And I went 2 days, so that's 60 euros. So that was expensive. But here, I didn't have to pay anything for parking. So that was, you know, good job. So, the parking where we got didn't have any wheelchair parking, but that was okay. We just, you know, parked a bit further away. We took a bit more space so that we could, you know, offload the wheelchair. And then later on, we found out that if we took one parking space further, there were wheelchair parking spaces. So that was my fault. I thought, you know, that every parking space would have, you know, like a couple of wheelchair parking spaces. So yeah, that one's on me, right? Not checking that up front. But then we got out of our car and we walked towards the convention center. And then the first thing happened, because we just left the parking area and the convention center was like, I don't know, 300 meters away from it. Yeah, that's when the line started. So yeah, there was a line to get into the convention center only 15 minutes after it had opened. This is something I'm not used to, right? So even at Dutch Comic Con, I was not standing in a line or anything. I could just, once I would actually find the place, the entrance, right? I was able to get in very fast. However, here, you know, we had to stand in line for, I guess, around 15 minutes, which was kind of long because it was already burning hot, because it's the summer here, right? And actually today is also one of the hottest days. And there was nothing organized, as in, you know, like additional shading provided in that line. So yeah, we were burning like a crisp. Actually, I was lucky that I was wearing this wig because it protected my head. It was hot, but it did protect me from the sun. So I also tried to protect my kids and my mom from the sun. But yeah, that was not okay. And there was also not, you know, like any, you know, like people handing out water. We, of course, always have water on hand and drinks on hand and some sugar, just, you know, especially with this hot weather, you need to have that with you at all times. So yeah, we had our own water, but there was nothing organized for anybody there. So yeah, it was, you know, I pity all the other people who came after us, because that line was getting longer and longer. I mean, it was already way past, you know, like the parking space where we entered the line. So yeah, I pity the people who were standing in line. So then once we got in, we got our bracelets. See, here you go. We got our bracelets. And yeah, it was hot outside. It was hot inside too. And this is not a, you know, like Stone Age convention center, okay? It's kind of like, you know, it's not like, I don't know, built before the Second World War. It was built after that. So there should be something like air conditioning there. Yeah, that wasn't there. It didn't exist. Okay, there was no air conditioning. It was hot as hell. The humidity was like, I don't know, through the roof. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the same thing as last year, right? We did see that it was bigger. And one of the things that they also told us on their social media is if you want to get food or drinks, get it before 12. So the first thing I did was say to the kids, okay, kids, what do you want for food and drinks, right? This was almost 11 o'clock, right? In the morning. So I even told my kids in the morning, like, go get fries, go get bubble tea, go get everything that you would eat, you know, like later in the day. Get it now. Because if you want to get it later, it's not gonna be there anymore. So yeah, so the first thing I did was stand in line to get fries and bubble tea. So the bubble tea line was okay, but again, it was 11 a.m., right? So I stood in line for the bubble tea around, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. So they were very fast. So that was okay. But then, you know, like my youngest, she really loves fries. And, you know, whenever we go to a convention, she wants her fries. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get you your fries right now. You're hungry anyway because she didn't have breakfast. She doesn't want to eat breakfast. I don't force my kids to eat when they're not hungry, right? I just tell them when you're hungry, just eat, right? Don't force feed. So she was hungry at that time, so I stood in line, you know, like to get the fries. And then they told me like, yeah, okay, now you paid. Here you have a ticket. Now go stand in that long line. And that was a very long line to pick up your order. Like, wait, I just stood in line to pay? And then I have to get in line for another? And it didn't say, they didn't have any signs at that time when I was there, right? That they said, order here, pick up your order there. They didn't have that. They didn't. Okay, so I was like, really? Now I have to stand in that long line? Just okay, fine. You know, I already paid. I already wasted money. So I'm going to stand again in a line. So I stood again in a line, a very long line. And then we got the fries, we got the bubble tea. And then we went, of course, immediately after we got our food, right? Because by that time, so that was almost 12, by 12 p.m. So by that time, we thought, you know what? We have had our food, we have had our drinks. Let's go into the dealer's room. So we entered the dealer's room and we thought that the food court was already hot. Yeah, well, wait until you enter the dealer's room, okay? So that was horrible. You enter the dealer's room and it wasn't even, you know, like smelly or anything. No. It was so hot that you were like, I can't breathe. Okay, and again, I am very experienced in going to conventions. Okay, so I know busy conventions, but this was hot, and you know, my kids were getting, you know, like also like, okay, mom, it's really hot. I can't hardly breathe. I said, okay, yeah, so yeah, let's get out of here. And then we thought, you know what, let's do some activities. There was, you know, like a mask painting activity. And we thought, you know, let's do the mask painting activity. So my oldest already said, Mom, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to go with grandma somewhere else because it's just too hot here. My youngest wasn't that bothered. She can handle heat better than my oldest. So she said, no, I still want to do, you know, like the mask painting. So I stood in line with her. My mom and my oldest went away, you know, outside, well, not outside, into another area, just, you know, to cool down a bit. So we were standing in line there. It wasn't that long of a line, but then the most scariest thing happened. Somebody fainted there on the spot. They got very unwell. They fainted. They, you know, medics had to come, you know, horrible. So, you know, when we saw that the medics were coming, you know, I took my kid away and I said, you know, let's go. This is scary, right? And she was like, yeah, Mom, I don't want to be here. So we went away because apparently further down where the, you know, mask painting was, it was even more hot than it was where we were standing. So I thought, you know, nope. Not gonna do that. Let's go. And then we went for some more fun activities because actually there was also a gaming area and a karaoke set. And we went there and that's actually the place where we had the most fun. Let's leave it at that. There was also another place, I'll get to that later, where we had the most fun. So we did karaoke, which was amazing. It was so much fun. The people there were so amazing. Just for your reference, all the people that we've met there and all the people that I was standing in line, they were all awesome, right? Everybody was just, you know, making the best of it, even though everybody was very hot and you could feel that, you know, like it was irritating people, but they were not rude. So I have to say to everybody who went to TomoFair, you know, kudos. You all stayed civil, you were all nice and everything. Also the staff, they were very nice. So let's, you know, the whole human part, you know, the humans there, they were all nice, awesome, great. I mean, you know, also, again, you know, like a couple of people came up to me and wanted to have a picture with me. You know, they even said to me like, hey, Kaiser, can I have a picture with you? So, you know, again, I'm shocked that you guys want to take a picture with me, or not with me, with Kaiser, of course. So, yeah, thank you, you know. thank you, you know, like convention community for always being so nice, even when things are not as ideal. You know, I mean, when you see non-ideal situations at other venues, people tend to get very nasty. And here I have to say, nobody got nasty. Nobody. Humanity, it's still there. But yeah, so we had lots of fun also with the gaming and with the karaoke. And then my kids wanted to have the shaved ice, and I stood in line for almost an hour to get shaved ice. They were very happy with it, and they went to a concert. However, the thing is, the concert area was they made it very small. So, and there was no, you know, like special route where, you know, like wheelchairs and smaller kids could, you know, like go in the front. So yeah, they couldn't see anything. You know what I heard, because I was standing in line, right? My mom and the kids were, you know, trying to see all the activities and the concerts that were giving there, but they couldn't see anything because, you know, Dutch people are tall, and you know, if you're in a wheelchair and if you're a small kid, you can't see anything. So yeah, they didn't see a lot. My oldest is kind of tall, so she saw some parts, right? But she's 5. What is that? 5'7", right? I'm 5'10". So I would have been able to see if I was standing right at the back, but they hardly saw anything. So yeah, so once I got the shaved ice was very nice. They ate it completely. Normally they could never finish their shaved ice, but because it was just so hot and everything, that it went in there like it was gone. It was gone very fast. And then we tried again going into the dealer's room, and it was just too hot. You know, we could just walk 5 steps, and then we were like, we're dead. But one of the cool thing was I guess the first stand when you enter the dealer's room was from Red Dot, I think, or at least that's what it says on all my transactions that I did with them, is they had a Gucci. Okay, so they had a Japanese lottery where you can open the tickets. I was like, and they even had Demon Slayer Gucci. I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this so bad. So I wasted my life savings on doing Gucci's at that stand. And luckily, like I said, that stand was really in the beginning. And my kids had, like, I see a lot of videos from others, right? Because I like seeing, you know, like people opening those lottery tickets, you know, like, and hoping that they get, you know, like the prizes that they want. I love seeing those videos, right? I live vicariously through other people. But the fact that they had it there, and they had one from Demon Slayer, I was over the moon. And my kids never saw it and actually don't watch those videos. When I told them what it was, they were like, oh, so this is actually a lottery where even, you know, like even you always win something. I said, yeah, this is not like a lottery, which we know that, you know, like you enter a lottery and, you know, you don't know if you win anything, right? No, this is a lottery where even, you know, like the consolation prize is like awesome. So yeah, I don't even want to tell you how much I spent on it. So they were 12 euros each, right? I think in Japan they were 800 yen. But again, like taxes, importing, whatever. So every ticket was 12 euros. And we did a lot of pulls on the Demon Slayer one, specifically because the keychains also were very, very adorable. And yeah, so, and next to that also we did a couple of pulls on the Tokyo Revengers one, and we also did 3 pulls on the Dragon Ball Gucci. Yes, they had 4 Guccis there. So they had a Demon Slayer, they had a Tokyo Revengers, Dragon Ball, and they had My Hero Academia. So I don't have anything with My Hero Academia, so that's why I didn't pull for anything from My Hero Academia. I love Demon Slayer. I don't watch Tokyo Revengers, but I do love the art of Tokyo Revengers, and Dragon Ball is, you know, like it's youth you know, something that how I got into anime, and my brother still really loves it. So you know, my mom and I thought, you know, let's pull also some Dragon Ball lotteries and see what we could win. So yeah, so we pulled a couple of things, and you know, like in B-roll you will see what we won. But I have some of the items here actually next to me, because a lot of the items actually my kids want or are going to my brother, so I don't have them here with me. But the things that I won, like, look, these are the tickets. I was able to take them with me. Which ones are these? Are these the Dragon Ball ones, or are these? I think these are the Tokyo Revengers ones. Oh no, wait, they're the Demon Slayer ones. So let me start off by some keychains that, you know, is this the lowest price? I think this was the lowest price that you could get in the Kuji. So these are the rubber keychains from Tokyo Revengers. This was the whole lineup that you could win. I think we had 4 of those. We had 2 cups and 1 folder. And then from Demon Slayer, we had, I think we had 3 acrylic keychains. We had, look, these we have 3 times. So 3 times this one and 3 times this one, and an Inosuke. So we had the rubber keychains, and then we had, so these were the F price? I don't know. And then we had a D prize, which is this cute little Zenitsu minifigure, you know, like completely bandaged up. So cute. And then, like here, I have still also a closed one from Tokyo Revengers. However, the thing that I am the most excited about is I pulled a B prize. I pulled the Kano B prize. I'm so happy. I was like, and this was, you know, like before we even pulled for Tokyo Revengers or for Dragon Ball, right? So we were still doing the Demon Slayer pulls, and then I pulled the B prize, and I'm so happy. So that made up for, you know, like not being able to go into the dealer's room, because I got myself a B prize. So you do the math now. How much did I spend on those Kujis? Yes, a lot. However, my wig is just going all the place. However, this is what I normally spend at a convention. It's what I budget in for it. Normally we also get, you know, like plushies, and we get more food. But because we had to stand in line most of the times an hour to get, you know, like 1 food item. So 45 minutes to pay, and then an additional 15 minutes to stand in a queue for picking up your order. Yeah, I didn't spend a lot of money on food because, you know, there's only so much time in a day, right, that I can stand in a line. And also because I didn't have to pay for parking, which here in the Netherlands is quite expensive. I thought, you know what, that money that I was gonna spend on those things, I'm just gonna spend this on this Kuji, which I love more and we all get very happy with. So yeah, after that, it got even hotter in there, and my oldest was done. She was done with it. She was like, Mom, I can't take it anymore. It's too hot. I'm dying here. I want to go home. And she loves conventions, right? And she really wanted to, you know, like go back also to the karaoke part, because she loved doing the karaoke, but it was just too hot. It was just too hot to handle, right? And even my youngest, who can deal with the hotness very well, she was like, I'm done. I also want to go home, Mom. I don't want to stay here anymore. And I said, you know, guys, we're going to go home. Because, again, I let my kids and my mom decide when we go, how long we're going to stay. Because for me, it doesn't matter that much, you know, because I done my fun things. And, you know, it's only fun when you're having fun with your family. So after that, we went home. It took a long time to get actually out of the convention center again, because it was just so busy. There were so many people on so little spaces, and everybody was standing in lines. It was just lines, lines, lines. And I don't mind standing in lines, because I do go also to a lot of amusement parks and those kind of things. So standing in line is just, you know, That's why I order all my clothes and all other stuff. I order online because, you know, I'm done with standing online. You know, I stand in lines in amusement parks. I stand in lines at convention centers. And that's the max amount of standing in line I will do. I will not stand in line for my grocery shopping, for, you know, buying my clothes and those kind of, I will not stand in line for that. So now you're thinking, are you going to go back next year? I don't know, right? We did have fun, but it was really hot. And again, same as last year, I don't know, do they turn off the AC in those convention centers specifically when it gets this hot? Or, you know, what's the deal with that? Because it's just very, very confusing why they would, you know, do this. And also, one of the things that I do want to tell them, like, you know, the line outside, make sure that, you know, like there's, you know, somebody standing there that, you know, like is handing out water, because it gets very hot in the summer standing in that line, specifically because there's no shade there. It was way in the open sun. And then with the food, I mean, that's just too little food, right? I think there were three major food stands, which I see at each and every TomoFair, right? And there was one, you know, like little small thing where they sold, you know, like some waffles. We did get the waffles, by the way. I mean, their food is nice, but if you only have 3 stands, that's not enough, okay? If you saw the pictures and the footage, how busy it was, that is not enough to feed all these people, okay? Because it didn't matter if it was 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. So we left at 3:30, and the lines, the food line was almost standing outside. It's ridiculous, okay? It was 3:30. So I know that the people that were standing at the end of the line, they will not be able to order their food for the upcoming hour, right? Which meant that half an hour after that, the convention center would close. So I really like it that there is this convention very close near my house, right? And the people that go there are awesome. The staff is awesome, but the organization is horrible, right? I mean, TomoFair, go back to Expo House, you know, to that, you know, like the owner of that convention hall. Tell them, put on the AC, okay? Or, you know, guys, charge more for your tickets then. You know, that you can pay the convention center more so that they can turn on the AC. Because if you're hosting a convention in the middle of summer, right, you need to have AC there, okay? Just so you know. And also, with regards to the food, make more food options. And also the lines, it was very difficult to understand how the whole lining system worked. Like, you know, make even with rope, right? It doesn't have to cost a lot. Make with rope, you know, like how people should stand in the line and which line is where and which one is to pay for your food and which one is to pick up your food. I don't know. Either make more options, right? And the thing is, also the food, it's not cheap, okay? Just so you know, it's not cheap. And I don't mind paying extra. I don't even mind paying extra more because people need to make a living wage, right? And they're working very hard. So again, it's not a complaint to the stand people, right, who are managing the stand, or to the staff. This is not a complaint towards you guys, because I know you're working very hard. And if we are having, you know, like if we are very hot, that means that you are even in a worse condition. So really towards the organization, right, and also towards the convention center, make sure you have AC, right? Make sure that you have guided lines and really get more stands in there. You can even have the same food, right? Charge more. I don't care, you know, but just make it available. You can charge more, right? Because then you can pay people more also to man these booths. So then charge people more because people will pay it, you know? Just before, you know, the pandemic, I paid €2 for a bucket of fries. You know, 4 years later, I pay 4 euros. Make it 5, you know? Then you can find people who want to work these convention centers. You can pay them more money. And then, you know, like the lines are shorter. Everybody is happy. You know, the person who's working is happy because they get more money. The person who was, you know, had to stay in line for, instead of an hour, had to stay in line only for 15 minutes. So they are happy because they can do more activities. So everybody's happy, right? That's how economy works. But yeah, that was it for my rant. I did enjoy it. And again, no complaints to the people that are working there, the people who went to the convention, because you guys, and also to the staff that was working at the food stands, and also to the people who were in the dealer's room selling their merchandise. You are all awesome. You know, I have mad respect for you all because you had to stay in that hotness for the full time and even before we entered there. So mad respect to all of you. But you know, organizers, you know, please, AC, more food options, and then just charge more. You know, just people will pay. It is what it is. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I say, miss you, love you. Kaiser says, bye.